did you find the satiety of having a higher fat, and did you have more protein as well? Because Atkins was reasonably good on his protein as well. Did you find a higher satiety from this diet than you had from previous high carb, low fat diets?
Yeah, absolutely. The hunger and the satiety is a really great way for me to sort of illustrate how effective the approach has been for me. I tell people now that, I eat when I'm hungry and I don't when I'm not. I eat to satiety, just as I always had back in the day when I was eating a more standard diet, if you like. The difference between then and now is back then I was almost constantly hungry. I could eat until I was full, but it wouldn't take long for me to get that feeling of hunger again. It would only be maybe a couple of hours at most. Today, for example, I haven't had anything. It's about lunchtime, but I'm not hungry. I'm feeling good, feeling great. I'm alert. I'm good to go. And I will get hungry later on in the day, and when I am hungry, I will eat, just as back in the day when I was hungry, I would eat. The difference now is the hunger doesn't come around so quickly and so strongly. The satiety lasts for that much longer. And you mentioned also before, there are different variations to the diet, whether it's protein or whether it's fat, and different arguments as to which perhaps helps more with satiety. The other argument you can take is that it's the carbs that actually work against the satiety and actually help to stoke the hunger. But regardless of whatever combination of hypotheses you want to go by, you put them all together, you switch it on its head completely, go from high carb, low fat to low carb, high fat, get enough protein in there as well. And the hunger seemed to me to just resolve itself of its own accord. It was a very gradual thing. When I started low carbing, I was still having like multiple steaks and chicken breasts or whatever per day. But it was over the course of perhaps the first 4 or 5 months that I began to eventually notice the hunger start to fade away. It first happened without my even noticing it. I stopped snacking. No more morning and afternoon tea. I used to have a banana in the bottom of my bag, and I have that for morning tea. And one day I'm going through my bag, just clearing it out, and there's this rotten banana stuck to the bottom. And what's going on here? And that's when I realized, hey, I haven't actually been snacking for days, weeks. And that's what had happened with the banana. And so the snacking was the first to go. Then the breakfast began to shrink. Before that disappeared entirely because I'm just not hungry in the mornings anymore. I'll have a little something usually at lunchtime, and my main meal now is dinner. But yeah, hunger was a major thing. Historically, there was very much a negative emotional association with that sensation. Like I hated being hungry. I would think to myself, I'm hungry. Well, great. Here we go. It's time to get even fatter, right? But I couldn't understand why it was that I was getting so hungry so often, so easily relative to those around me. And it was one of those ideas that I struggled with for many years, certainly when I was younger. People would tell me, the basis of the traditional advice being all around energy balance, you just need to stop eating so much, just eat less. When I would eat less, the first thing that happens is I get hungry. And that's when the argument started to break down in my mind. Why is it that I still get hungry if I'm already fat? And there was a question that bothered me so deeply for so long that actually became the tagline of the book itself. And it was only really through the adoption of the low carb that issue of hunger began to resolve itself over a period of months, but slowly but surely of its own accord.